Warp Pipe Wednesday.
What's up, Jay? I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. It was interesting having the week off last week. I almost panicked that Wednesday night. I was like, wait, I should be on the podcast. Oh, yeah. I don't have it.
Surprised you didn't text me that night.
No.
So we did record ahead of time. I have been in California and Portland, Oregon for last 10 days or so. I just got back Saturday night. So I got a bunch to talk about. I don't know what Jay's been going on with you. Maybe we'll start with you because I got a whole bunch to say.
I mean, the only thing I have to say is the same thing that I've been saying for weeks. I can't wait for Friday when the new Blink-182 album comes out. And they've actually released 2 singles since then. Believe it or not, Russ.
I know they're stretching this out. They're like leaking one like at a time here.
But I have refused to listen to the last 2.
Oh, okay. They did do a lyric video, music video for one of the songs instead of full blown video.
Yeah. So I haven't listened to them because I want to sit and listen to the album as a complete work.
Right.
And 4 singles was plenty. Like I didn't need 6.
Right.
However, they did release this like video interview today that was like an hour and 20 minutes, and I watched that. I've almost watched it twice.
Okay, I didn't see that.
They kind of dig deep into some of the, history of the band and some of the turmoil that Mark and Tom went through, and they kind of, they softly approach it, but you get a little bit of a inside behind the curtain peek at kind of what caused some problems with the band and stuff like that. So that was pretty interesting.
Nice. Yeah. I believe I played one of the newer songs and my wife was like, is this a cover? And I was like, not that I know of. No, maybe it's just so catchy. You almost think like, oh, this is maybe
That
a
you've
cover
heard it before.
Right.
The other thing I'll say is that as a huge Boxcar Racer fan, which is a side project Blink-182 did, they did say that one of the Boxcar Racer tracks that Tom and Travis had kind of had floating around on a hard drive for years and years and years will be on this album as a Blink-182 song.
Oh, so wow. Who would have thought that come to fruition of like them having old unused songs from a side project?
Yeah, a 20-year-old side project.
Right, that the hard drive hasn't been corrupted. Sometimes I find it troubling to find some of my past bands stuff where it's like, oh, it's on CD, it's on a hard drive, but where did I put that hard drive? So
yeah,
whoever stayed organized with the music, or the props to them.
So yeah, so I got a little bit over 24 hours, but I plan on getting up Friday morning and promptly going to books. What is it, Barnes and Noble? They usually have CDs there. You can find them.
Yeah,
and hopefully picking it up and coming home, putting it in the CD player, and maybe like folding some laundry and just rocking out to some Blink or something. I don't know.
Sounds exciting.
I know, right?
Laundry and Blink.
Laundry and Blink. That's my whole life.
Hopefully I had seen if we're talking bands with new albums, MXPX does have a new album out, and they have been releasing weekly new music videos for each song on the album. The whole album's out, you can listen to it in its entirety, but just to kind of keep the momentum going, they've been doing music videos every week on their YouTube channel. So getting pumped for that. I have the vinyl for it. I bought a CD as well, and then I did see they're on tour with the itORWs.
That I was about to say. I saw him and Chris Rowe have been doing little commercials for the tour, and they're going to be in Atlanta. I don't know if they're going to be in Charlotte or not, but I'm tempted to go. But here's the thing. I'm sorry if this hurts your feelings, Russ. I don't love MXPX. I did like their album Slowly Roaming the Way of the Buffalo.
Right.
And I did like their album
Ever Passing Moment, maybe?
No, it's got the one with him and Mark Hoppus. When you're home, da 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 da.
I'm trying to remember which one that was
Down
on.
it to your ear and hold it to your ear.
Right.
Wish that I was there to sing you. Anyway,
to sleep.
Yeah. So I don't know the name of the album. I want to say it's Warning, but I know that's a
it might be on
album.
Secret Weapon, maybe.
No, it's not Secret Weapon. I would know it if I heard it.
I should know, being a big
fan. Anyway, those 2 albums I like. but as far as the rest of their stuff, I never really loved it.
Mhm.
Even their new song, I don't think it's that good.
Okay. Well,
Um,
Atari's though.
but the Ataris, I freaking love the uh, I don't know if they have all the original band members. Uh,
I think it's just Chris
I'll
at this point.
get
Yeah.
whoever he can get to support him.
Right.
But
Um,
it's like Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins. Chris Rowe is the Ataris, you know?
right, right, absolutely.
So,
So they're coming to New York. So I was showing the wife, I was like, we got to get tickets. It's in February. I said I'll probably take the following day off because we'll get back from the city so late.
yeah.
I won't need that day off. I'll need the next day off.
Yeah, right, right.
So hopefully I'll grab some tickets so that I have forward that to look to. And yeah, I'll be excited to see him again.
Yeah. Yep. Sweet.
But yeah, in other news, I was in California and Gwen went on her first plane ride ever,
How'd that
six and a
go?
half hours.
How was your first plane ride with your child? Because mine, from Greenville to Minnesota
Hmm.
was a disaster.
Jeez, how old?
She was probably like 18 months old,
Oh, okay.
and it was like I had to physically restrain her for like 3 straight hours. She was not chill. We were that family that the rest of the plane was turning back to look at. Like, "Seriously? You brought a kid on a plane? Are you stupid?" That was the looks I got the whole way.
Jeez. So Gwen's 9 months old right now. This is only a week ago. So we flew out of JFK. So my wife was like, well, I'll book an early flight. Maybe she'll still be asleep. But I'm like, yeah, but you didn't think we got to get up and then drive to New York and she's sleeping in the car. So by the time we get to the plane, she's wide awake.
Yeah.
She's not sleeping anymore. We didn't buy a seat for her. So we just had her. And my plan was to put her in one of those like satchel, like strap things.
Mhm.
But then before we took off, the stewardess was like, you have to unhook the baby. And I'm like, so I just need to hold her out in the open while we take off? That doesn't make any sense. I'm buckled in.
Seems
She can't be.
it's like it seems more safe to have her strapped to someone who's strapped in. Like,
Right, right.
doesn't that seem to make sense?
But okay, I was like, fine, whatever. Um,
Fine, I'll sacrifice the baby.
I'll just
Thank you, stewardess.
throw the baby.
Maybe we can just set her a nice seat on the wing. How about that?
So we took off and we're going. And she was certainly wiggly. And luckily we had a little bit extra leg room. So we had like our bags on the ground. We kind of let her like crawl around where our legs were to
Mhm,
like get that movement out. She cried a little bit just when she was hungry,
mhm.
but overall she was pretty good. I'll see if I could pull up a picture. Ended up because I was super tired. My wife ended up catching a few snoozes in, and I was up most the time just managing Gwen. But she did pass out, and we had one of those like little pillows that she was like in, just like
Oh, there you go.
passed out. And I was like, good, give me at least like an hour's worth of sleeping or something like that. So it
Right.
wouldn't be as bad. But we landed and they gave her a little wings pin for like her first time flying. And so we're like, all right, good, we're in. And yeah, we landed in San Francisco and we got to see an awesome sunset right where
Wow.
Steph's sister lives, right down the beach. There was like the sun was setting. It was like this awesome beach that you like
That's rad.
walk down this like cliff. I think I do a little
It's like 2 little mountains there right between the sun. That was kinda rad.
yeah, let's see, we'll focus on my
Oh, dude, that's sick.
so you climb down that little ridge and there's like a little private beach type thing there. Super awesome. So I was glad I got to see that and the big waves,
The West Coast, baby.
the West Coast. So that was cool. And then adjusting to the time zones difference. So they're
Oh,
3 hours
that's
back.
wild.
So that was a long day. That was Saturday. And then Sunday we went to see an air show right at San Francisco, right near the Golden Gate Bridge. Was the what were they called? The Blue Angels.
Yep.
So they were flying overhead. The only downside was there was a lot of like fog
Hmm.
coming in, so it was a little difficult to see the planes. I did catch some photos just from like Google, essentially, so people could see what like the planes were. But like, here's a shot of like
That's
one of
rad.
them flying across Alcatraz there, and like just like the sonic booms and stuff they had. because we ended up having to bring um headphones for Gwen.
Right?
So she had like her little like protective headphones on so the sonic booms wouldn't hurt her ears.
There you go.
So that was sweet. You know, they had food trucks. It was really cool. We hung out, and then what was it? Monday we ended up going to the zoo in San Francisco, which was awesome. Got there and saw a ton of the animals. There's a carousel there, a train. Saw some giraffes. What else was there? Penguins,
Ooh, I like
rhinos.
penguins.
There were no. Someone was asking about pandas, which I didn't know, but I guess apparently China is taking back all the pandas at the zoo. They were like on loan, and
Huh.
if they were like mistreated or this and that, they had a right to take them back. So very few zoos have pandas left and on exhibit.
Interesting.
So I was like, okay, whatever. So that was fun, and then ended up Tuesday morning. We went back to the airport to pick up our rental car, and we started our drive from San Francisco to Portland, Oregon, up
Yeah.
the coast.
Was that
And
cool?
yeah, like you're just going the coastline, seeing all the beautiful beaches and everything. And it was funny. We had passed the beach, and I was like, "That's a weird name." And it was like 20 minutes, and I was like googling stuff, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? Like, I remember the Goonies was filmed in Oregon in Astoria,
Oh yeah. Yep. So long
and
Astoria.
I think
Speak of the
the
Ataris.
I think the beach might have been somewhere there, and I googled it, and the beach was actually filmed in California, and it was called, I think, Gooseneck Beach.
Was that it that you passed?
And we passed it, and I was like, "We just passed that." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I
Because
was
you would
so
have
mad
stopped and got out and like checked it out.
because it kind of triggered my memory seeing some of the scenes. I was like, "That kind of reminds me of like when the ship came out in the Goonies."
Yeah. So you actually saw it
So
and then didn't even
I
realize you saw
didn't
it.
even realize it, and I was like, "Man," I was like, "That would have been sweet."
Hey, you guys.
But we did stop. Where was it? We stopped at. It was called Sonomo Coast State Beach, essentially Rocky Point. And if I zoom in there, and if you guys are watching on YouTube, I put a weekly warp pipe
There
sticker on the.
you go. We're on the West Coast, baby.
So I brought a little package of stickers just
That's
to stick
freaking
around.
sick.
So we hit that. But then driving up through the mountains, it's wild if you have never done it before. It basically there's no internet, which we didn't think. So there
Oh
we
yeah,
didn't have
you kinda like
Spotify. Like,
or you like lose do you lose your GSP?
well, it still stayed because I think it pre-calculates, your route, and
Okay,
you're not
okay. So it's like
cheating
already
off of that.
downloaded in.
So that's already in. But like then we didn't have any music to listen to. So
So
I
you
had to
had to
like
talk to each other?
or just like sit there, like kind of. I
Did
mean,
you
we talked
sing?
a little bit.
So sometimes I sing songs and Haley's like, "Can you please stop?"
But then we ended up when we got to service area, I downloaded a bunch of tracks. I downloaded Bush Razor Blade Suitcase to listen
Ooh,
to. Reliant K. I
Greedy
downloaded one of their
Fly.
CDs. What else I did? And then a few podcasts too, because I figured I'd keep it going. But check out this looks just like Silent Hill while we're going because of the fog while we're driving.
Oh yeah, that's creepy.
And you would just go and there'd be like these police boxes where you'd be able to phone for help, but it'd be like every few miles. And I'm like, you get a flat tire out here, it's going to be hours before someone comes.
Yep.
Because we even
You'll
stopped
be
at one
murdered
point.
before then though.
We stopped at one point just to get Gwen out of the a car seat for a little bit, and we were holding her, and then we were just off on the side of the road. And I'm like, anyone could just come out of the woods and like murder us.
See? Told you.
A Sasquatch, I don't know.
Yeah, though that's the most likely situation, being up
Um,
in the big forest of Oregon.
but we did end up getting to the hotel about maybe 8 o'clock at night, and I thought it was a really cool place. It was called, let's see, I took a picture of
The Sasquatch Inn?
the Sasquatch Inn, the the Redwood River Walk, I guess, hotel,
That's a long name.
and they did have a Sasquatch in their like little there was this, like a nicely lit like patio with really patio, I guess. Well, whatever. It's a like string lights and a couple picnic tables, and then they had this little
Oh, told you it
Sasquatch.
was the Sasquatch Inn.
So I was like, "This place is cool. I dig it." They had a nice
Yeah.
little breakfast thing. Um, yeah, we continued the drive. I think the second day was like maybe 6 hours, 7 hours, and we got into, Portland maybe 8 o'clock at night. No, maybe it was like 7 because we got in, checked in, and then we went to this place called, Cartopia. It was all food trucks, like food carts, so
Okay.
Cartopia, and, they have about 6 food trucks set up, fire pits, some tents in case it rains, and then you could just get some food. So I got really good burrito, and Steph got some Thai food.
Ooh, Haley loves Thai.
Yeah, so we got that. That was good, and then ended up back at the hotel. And that night, or the following night, we ended up visiting our friends who just had a baby, like maybe 2 months ago. So we got to meet up with them. And then at night, I met up with my friend, the Nintendo doctor. He just had a baby 2 weeks ago. Um, so super brand new. And we got pizza. And then the next day was the first day of the convention. It it's like not fully open though. It's like you could go in at 12, but it's
Okay.
just the arcade section.
Gotcha.
So you can't do any vendors or whatever, but you could pick up your badges. So I had to pick up my media badge. I got Steph a badge for the weekend, played some arcade games, and I was like um casual Jason because that was Friday the 13th.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I ended up wearing we went to Target and I found like a purple like pullover sweater essentially. So I did like this like casual Jason with the Jason mask and sweater.
That's really funny.
So then me and my friend ended up do I have did I
Casual
say
Friday with Jason.
right? We ended
Casual
up
Friday the 13th.
we did like a little dance off competition because he was dressed up as Jason too, and the DJ was right there. So if you saw my Instagram stories, or I think it was on YouTube as
Oh, he's
well.
got the sprinkler going.
Yeah. So I pulled out the sprinkler. I was getting down. So that was super fun. And then James Ralph's band played Rex Viper.
Oh, Rex Viper was there? That's awesome.
So they flew him out. So they played in the arcade at 7 o'clock. And we stayed for pretty much the whole show. We did bring Gwen a little further back because we didn't bring the headphones for her.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Did you get
hung
to
out.
talk to James at all?
I didn't get to. I talked to the bass player, is my buddy Adam, Square Painter.
Yeah, it was a Square Pegs plays bass, doesn't he?
Yeah. So we chatted for a little bit. And I had brought my book too. I was hoping James would be able to sign
Yeah,
the
have you
book.
read that?
I haven't finished it. No, I
But what
started
you've
it.
read of it, what do you think?
It was pretty cool. I'm up to page 69, and it's pretty much talking about him going to school and then kind of like having it a hard time and how he was like socially awkward and like
Yeah.
all this stuff. So,
So I listened to the audio version, but I want to get a hard copy. Um, it's one of it was exactly what I wanted from AVGN. A lot of people were complaining about it, especially about like the college history. I don't know. I thought it was like a really great look into who James is or was or
mhm,
both.
right.
I loved
No,
it.
for sure. Yeah. And they ended up doing a song where they wore Jason masks on stage. So then I ran up there with my Jason mask and my other buddy who had Jason, and we're like, hanging out, rocking.
Jason's with the Jasons.
Right. And what was cool too, I ended up picking up the program. So here's the program for the expo,
Nice.
and they have the artwork all just like Friday the 13th, with NES Jason. So Saturday morning was the convention. We got in there and started cruising around. Gwen came with me. She was dressed up as Spider Gwen, and Blockbuster Video was there in the back. The last Blockbusters in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
So they had a little section with a big Blockbuster sign and
Oh
a
yeah, I saw
couple
the picture you sent me.
yeah, and a couple rows set up almost as if you were in a Blockbuster store. So they had the movies and VHS and DVDs with like horror, comedy, kids,
Right.
candy set up, and then they did like a mock section with like a couch, a TV, and some props on there.
That's cool.
But then they were also hosting the Blockbuster Video Game Championship, which is the fourth year they were doing it. And I had signed up. And on Saturday, they had you play a game. I'm gonna do a full video on my YouTube on it. I don't
Okay.
give away too much, but they had you play homebrew games. There was nothing
Okay.
you could practice for
Oh,
essentially.
okay, that makes sense.
So the first game was on Dreamcast. It was all you do. You were flying, and you had to pick up VHS tapes. So blue tapes are worth 5, red are worth 1, and you could shoot some stuff, but it didn't really like gain points or whatever.
It was all about the tapes.
Right, and whoever got the top score, they are taking the top 60 contestants essentially. So you would get a text message back if you reached the top score, and then you would go on to round 2 on Sunday. They'd do another game, then they would take the top 16, and then on the same day, they would just play the last game and see who was
So,
the
how
winner.
far'd you get?
You guys will have to wait to hear.
Oh,
I
cliffhanger,
don't want to
cliffhanger.
spoil it, but it was pretty cool. I'm
You
glad
don't
I
wanna
signed up.
spoil it, but he won.
Nice. So that was a good time. I will say Gwen did fairly great on Saturday. She was there the whole convention with my wife. We are kind of alternating back and forth. She was cruising around. I did go to a panel, and Steph had to take Gwen out because she was being a little fussy. But it was a funny moment because so I was the only one dressed up in my NES Jason cosplay, which I was surprised because the theme is Friday the 13th. So I thought
That's
I would see
that's
more.
because 'cause you're extra, Russ. The rest of us are lazy. Don't wanna
So
be bothered with all
I
this.
was like, all right, so there's like a cool picture with me and Gwen, and they have the background of the NES game.
That's cool.
So I was hanging out there and I was taking a picture with this lady, and then I was just like, "Oh well, I got to get to Friday the 13th panel," and she's like, "Oh, I'm hosting the panel." So I was like, "Oh, okay." So I gave her my card. So when I went into the panel, she then called me out by name, like, "This is Russ Lyman. Stand up, like he's got a dope cosplay." And she went through on her experience with the Friday the 13th game, and I did some interaction back and forth with some questions. So it was really cool that
Did
I at least go
she
to
was
that.
she, like, one of the programmers or something?
No, no, it was just she does a podcast, and then she just really enjoys the game and the lore and stuff. And she had beaten the game during COVID on Friday the 13th in March. So she ended up getting this like big tattoo on her like thigh with the Jason mask, the date 3/13/2020. And
Dude, I
just
shoulda did that when I beat Ninja Gaiden the first time. I beat it on July 4th.
see. So and then she just, talked about her experience with the game, and then we, chimed in as, hey, we all too like the game as well. So that was the only panel I was able to go to. But they did have also a museum there that you can go in, and they were showcasing the entire library of the Atari Jaguar,
Ooh, that's cool.
all the games, all the peripherals.
How many games did they actually make for that, do you know?
There was quite a bit, but they also had like homebrew games too. So I don't know kind of what was what, but there had to be like 60 games, I want to say, in there.
Wow.
And then also next to that was the Nintendo Power Museum, and
Ooh.
this had a lot of um
The
like
claymation stuff and the
that, but mostly what would you call it, like stills or like the drawings before they're in the page, you
okay,
know like some are in pencil, some
like
are like
cells, like art cartoon
right.
cells almost?
So there was like maybe like 50 of those like framed and everything. So I filmed everything on there, so I'm going to do a video on that as well.
That's
But
sick.
they had the shoes that were in
The
the
Captain N?
no, the track and field.
But it's if you look on the shoes, it says Captain N on there.
Oh, it might. They had the Mega Man 2. I think it has the Wily like
Mhm.
ship with the Mega
Yep.
Man
Yep.
clay. They
Yeah.
had what else was on there? Oh, the head from Dracula, like the Castlevania issue.
Oh, like this like the mask?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was cool to see. They had a Game Boy that someone was like design your own Game Boy, and the winner got it designed, so they had that Game Boy.
Oh, that's sick, actually.
Yeah. What else did they have? They had a freaking I don't know if I took a picture. It was a giant Mario like plush mascot costume,
Hmm.
so to say, and you could take your picture next to it. I think I took Did I snap just a photo of it? Because I was like, "Oh, I need a
You know,
thumbnail."
I think they use it in the back of Nintendo Power, like, man, I feel like I've seen that exact costume you're talking about, almost like a mascot.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it in here. I bet you it's on their page. I'm gonna try to look that up quickly there. But the guy was there that had owned all the memorabilia there, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I wanted to maybe do like a quick interview or something like that, but I wasn't able to. Let's see. Where's
That
a
would've
wide
been
picture
cool.
of it. Well, you could see the head of it. I wish you could find a bigger photo if you guys are
Yep.
watching.
Yeah, that's sick.
So he was there. It showed it when they had found him too, and he was in a state of disarray that like you're like, oh man, what happened to this guy? So they were asking, if you're taking a picture with Mario, just throw us a couple bucks. So I was like, sweet. So they had that. There was an auction at night. It started at 7, but like we were beat from being there all day, so we didn't go. But they had like vintage like neon signs, something like you have, but it has like Nintendo Repair or like
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation, Xbox. They raffled off or well auctioned off 2 props from AVGN.
Oh,
It was
wow.
it was a Game Boy with like arms that was in a episode, and a Tiger handheld with arms that like fought him in something.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, Also Lloyd Kaufman was there from Toxic Avenger or
Okay.
Crusader. So he was talking about the new movie that's coming out plus a new game. Yeah, there's certainly a lot to take in. I did run into Gabbo from Pixel Game Squad.
There you go.
So we chatted for a bit. Of course, I ran into John Riggs, John Hancock. We all
Yeah,
chatted for a
all the
few.
northern people up there.
Right. I saw pictures and I didn't know Caleb was there, Phoenix Resale.
Okay.
And I was like, I didn't even see him. Like, are you kidding me? I would have said hi. Such a big con though. It's like, all right, I
Yeah,
guess you can't find everyone.
right.
Because I also was in my Jason cosplay for the full day on Saturday, basically, and then like
Jeez.
part of the day. Well, also I took the mask off, so then I just end up looking like
Like a
I don't
purple
know,
guy?
like a janitor. Whereas it me janitor situation. Um, Essentially, this is me at the Blockbuster tournament, but
All
I
you need
just
is, like, a mop.
right. So I'm in like a purple jumpsuit with a red hat.
That's funny.
Yeah, I got lots of foot. Listen to this.
Ooh, I'm ready.
So Saturday, get all my footage, go back to the hotel. I'm dumping it to the hard drive so I can be ready. Charging my batteries. I got my microphone batteries I'm charging. Situate everything. We go in the morning. Con opens at 10. We get there, ready to film. Turn on the GoPro. No SD card in there. I
No.
left it at the hotel.
Oh,
I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
that's a total NES addict move.
So I filmed a little bit with my phone, and then we saw there was like a Walgreens a few blocks away.
So
We're
you're able
like,
to buy SD card
so
there.
I had to walk to Walgreens, spend some money to get an SD card, and then I was able to use the GoPro for the rest of the footage. But I was like, ah,
Blast.
so curse it.
Blast.
But yeah, it was good. Then we ended up flying home uh, Monday morning, well, afternoon.
Gotcha.
And that was a quicker flight. It's quicker to fly West Coast to East Coast with the winds, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah,
It was only a 5-hour flight back to New York.
the Arctic
Um,
winds push you
but
further.
but then we had to drive home from JFK. I think we got home at like 11 o'clock at night,
Ugh,
which was a lot. But we basically slept all day Tuesday. We're all out of whack with the time zones, especially Gwen, like
right, poor
not knowing
thing.
when to go to bed or when should I be up or like. So I was like, man,
You're still
um,
paying for price.
I know it. I will showcase this. I think I was going to do a pickups video. I haven't done a pickups video in years, but some people expressed some interest in it, and they're easy to shoot. So we were outside. I did a little short video on this on YouTube and Instagram, but they have vending machines there, like in the convention center, that are filled with artist um, stuff. Like you get a slot and you can choose what you want to put in there essentially.
Oh, that's cool.
So some people had like, necklaces or blah, 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 blah. And someone had theirs filled with retro pins. And so I got this guy here in the package,
Oh, that's an oddity.
and it was $10.
That's a good deal.
And this is a Luigi, and there's 18 total pins. It shows you on the back. And so after this, there was I think there was, I want to say a Yoshi
Is it
or
weird or
no,
is it lame?
I think it's a weird. Um,
Slice of
so
stuff in innocent games.
yes. So they sold out. I got this on Friday. They sold out, and then we were leaving, I think Saturday, and someone refilled it with more.
No way.
So I went back and I was like, I figured $10 is not bad. So then I picked this one up for $10. It was Princess Peach.
Ooh.
So she's like, I mean, she's really vintage. These are from 1989. So like,
It's a good year.
you could almost
Oh,
see like
dude,
her eyes.
you know the one I would have wanted if I could have got it.
Probably this Link one.
Oh, absolutely. You nailed it, sir.
Was it? Oh yeah, he was number 17
That
on
Link one
there.
is legit.
So
That looks kind
whether
of like your tattoo.
Yes, yeah, that same style. So whether that was in there, the person must have bought, an entire case of these on
Mm-hmm.
eBay for whatever amount, and then was like, all right, $10 a pop. Like, sure. So I'll leave those like just in this package because
Yeah,
I
those
like
are
the
cool.
packaging. And they're even unpunched too. So it's like,
Those are real Nintendo oddities.
I think I brought it up in the video. The last one I was getting, I was in my Jason costume, and I'm like, oh, shout out to Jay or something.
Thanks.
So, I mean, that's that there. I got a bunch of videos I'm going to be editing, and I still have to edit my Halloween special. I was like putting in my work schedule, and I'm like, oh, I was like, freaking next week is like
You're running
Halloween.
out of time,
I
Russ.
was like, I need to get this going.
Hey, at least you're not like me and made a I'm back video in like May and then haven't done anything since.
You still got to make the video for the Game Gear.
Oh yeah, I'm such a slacker. I think I filmed that. I just never
Just
edited it.
there you go. We're halfway there.
Living on a prayer.
So yeah, that's us summed up there. When you guys hear this episode, this Friday is the short horror contest that I'm submitting to.
I was wondering how that was going.
So I'll find out whether I'll place or not. They're showing all the films Friday night, and then the top 3 will be played Saturday night. So you'll have to come back the following week to see how I place. But you'll be able to see the short film in my Halloween special on my YouTube channel.
Well, I want a secret text letting me know ahead of time.
Yeah, so I'll keep you updated. So essentially, yeah, that's all the stuff's going in. I mean, I left out a lot of stuff. I don't want the podcast to be full hour on what I did there. You'll get the details in my videos.
There you
go.
Give you some more nuggets later.
I know it. But feel free to check out the weekly warpipe.com. We got all our episodes up there, merchandise that you could pick up, stickers if you want to place them somewhere.
That's
What
right.
else we got? We got our Patreon supporters. I'd like to give a shout out to all the Patreon supporters. And our top tier supporters are Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16.
I punched the ceiling.
Ceiling punches.
I was trying to hype it up, and I ended up punching my ceiling.
Hey, call into the show. We haven't had anyone call in a while. 949-682-9277. The numbers on all their descriptions and on the website, so you can find it there if you don't have a pen right now or can't remember it. But give us a call. You can give us some video suggestions you want to hear, topic suggestions, or tell us how we're doing.
How are you doing?
Jay's eating some ice.
Tell us not to do podcasts with ice in our mouth. Ice in our mouth.
Well, appreciate you guys listening, hanging out. As always, I'm Russ Lyman. Keep your world fun bit by bit. And we'll see you next time. What'd you say?
I said don't choke on that ice.